In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show with your host, Rusty. Keep G.G. Jackson's name out of your damn mouth, Buckets!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm the only one on G.G. Jackson's side, apparently still left in Grizz Media, and I never left. I got my guy, Wayne O, here with me today as we are rocking back-to-back days here on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel, proudly brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Wayne O, how you doing over there in the wee hours of the morning down under?
You, sir, have a lot to answer for.
No
How
boy.
dare you message me in the morning, start talking about some delicious warm pastries. I am so hungry right now.
So not only that, I also told him he looks like a child when I hopped in the studio here because he's freshly shaven. And so Wayno, I'm like 0 for 2 with Wayno this morning. Morning for him, early morning for him, mid-morning for us here in America. But welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show. We appreciate it. I am obviously losing my voice. Somehow I sound worse than I feel and still somehow look worse than I sound. But so if you're watching this on, listening to this on like podcast, you're doing great. You don't have to look at me, but you have to listen to this scratchy voice as we work through this today.
You need to milk it when on days like this. You need to start like a side gig with sexy phone voice and just let them all swoon, buddy. Let them all swoon.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. It is Tuesday, and on Tuesdays we start with a special type of buffoonery, and we are going to talk about an Australian dish that I had a brief experience with that was just 20 out of 10. What are you laughing at?
Before we jump into this, King Meeks, you bastard. I already have like instant regret every time I shave. I'm like, no.
Is that Moby?
To be called Moby at 4 o'clock in the morning, man.
That's amazing. Right. Shout out King Meeks. Shout out Moby for being on the podcast with me here today as we transition into our Tuesday tasting. Every Tuesday here on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel, live at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time in the great states of USA. We talk about what we're eating. And I've got a special treat that we're going to talk about today that is one of my only experience with Australian cuisine. I got a really good friend who lives in Boston. This is a shout out, no free shout out portion of the show. And he took me to a place called KO Pies in kind of the industrial part of Boston. And I had my first experience with meat pies. I had one that had like some beef and mushrooms. I had another savory one that had like beef and peppers and gravy. Bueno, it was like a 20 out of 10 experience. Tell me what is a meat pie and how it got so famous in Australia.
Well, we kind of touched on this, I think, near Christmas time with you, myself. I think Kenny was on the show at the time.
I think
we're
so.
We'll talk about like Kenny's dad, who's like a pastry chef and makes all the. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
My confusion, because as soon as anyone mentions pie, my brain goes meat pie, meat pie, tomato sauce, bang. So like, yeah, it's a real thing down here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's embedded in the culture. It's like something, meat pies, like it's something you can pick up at any garage. It's something that like is like, especially for me growing up, it was like something that like I really look forward to. Like if you got like a lunch order at school, getting a meat pie sauce, and then just, you know, I mean, they've just gotten better. Like they're just, man, I am so hungry right now. This is not fair.
So a meat pie, so it's like a little pastry with different like fillings, correct?
Yeah. So like, was it what they call it? Short pastry. So short pastry. Usually, I mean, the go-to is like slow cooked beef with gravy in the middle. Like you cook them till they're golden brown, nice and warm. There's so many variations here. Like one of my favorite is lamb and rosemary, which is just really, really good.
A little fun fact about me: if lamb is on the menu, I'm going to order it. So when I come to Australia, a lamb meat pie is happening.
Oh, yeah. And one of my favorite places is in a place called Beale down the south coast near where I grew up. And on their main street, which is called Bong Bong Street, there's a patisserie there, called Gumnut Patisserie. Now, you guys know what a gumnut is, right? Okay, so you have a eucalyptus tree, our trees over here. They grow little nuts, okay, and actually sometimes they get like quite big, and they're called a gum nut. So
you heard it here first. Bueno likes big nuts. Continue.
Yeah, look, not the gummy nuts, but the gum nuts. But yeah, there is an amazing patisserie down there called Gumnut Patisserie. They're pretty. I think they're pretty famous, but their meat pies, man, let me tell you, and the range they have there, they do a lot of other stuff as well. New Zealand pies. What are we talking about here?
Cohen bringing the heat, saying New Zealand pies are way superior. I'm going to need a taste test to determine for myself.
Yeah. And their pies are amazing. And like whenever you guys decide to make the 20+ hour flight to Australia, that'll be one of the first places we go.
Yeah, sounds good, dude. I'm all in. Like I said, the experience I have, there's two Aussies that opened this restaurant in 2010, and it's been working there in the dock, like warehouse district in Boston ever since. My buddy Jake took me up there when I visited a number of years ago before COVID, and it was like 20 out of 10. Like they were so savory. They were so good. And like in America, we think of pies like maybe like a chicken pot pie, but we don't think about necessarily like beef and lamb and gravy and stuff and corn in a pie. But when I had those, I get why they are such a delicacy in Australia and apparently New Zealand.
Yeah, like when I think of an American pie, I think of like more sweet. You know, I think more like sweet pumpkin pie, apple pie.
Like that's America's dessert, right?
So, yeah, it's more like a dessert. Where over here it's kind of flipped the other way. It's kind of like a bit more of a meal. Yeah.
Like I do love a good shepherd's pie, which is more of an Irish dish with the crumbled beef, and I make a mean shepherd's pie in my big cast iron skillet. Chicken pot pie we have here, but in America, when you hear pie, you think more dessert time, and apparently in Australia you think lunchtime or breakfast, since it's the 4 a.m. hour in Australia.
Like, I'm not even kidding. When I go to work later, I'm going to stop at the server and get myself some pies.
You, sir, are welcome for helping you plan out your lunch. But just wanted to chat about meat pies before we get into the bulk of the show. which is the Memphis Grizzlies, who did have a game last night, Wayno, and it was same stuff, different day.
Deja vu.
Yes, sir. Deja vu indeed. Because I went to bed with 5 minutes to go in the game last night because I knew it was going to happen. The Rockets were taking control because, shockingly, we had made some ill-timed substitutions as we transitioned into our Beale Street Heat check here on the Bluff City Media family of shows. $2 Sports Show brought to you by FanDuel. Wayno, we went into the game last night with low expectations, thinking that there wasn't really a chance we were going to win, and we had a halftime lead over the Rockets. Like we were playing with competitive fire. Our guys were competing. Vince Williams Jr. was taking the most amount of shots, just like everybody had planned last night. And the Memphis Grizzlies had a chance to win, but stop me if you've heard this before. When the going got tough in the second half, Jaron and Said got going to the bench. The Rockets took over control and ultimately won the game last night, putting us 1-3 in this most recent 10-game stretch.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would highly advise everyone go watch yesterday's $2 show because we really touched on this and got, quite deep into it. And I don't kind of want to rehash old stuff, but I
mean, honestly, I understand why apathy is at an all-time high. Viewership on all Grizzlies platforms is going down because it's the same thing night after night after night, which is what you get in a tanking type season.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking, till we're blue in the face about the same things, really. And it's quite a shame. Like, I was watching that game yesterday after work, and I was just like, it really hurts my heart knowing that we're not going to see a full roster this season at all. Like, we haven't even come close to having a full roster this season. That's kind of sad. It's like, you get one guy in, then two guys go out. And I just want to give a shout out to the guys who actually played yesterday. I know, honestly, I felt like we really missed Jock yesterday, but, you could say that about all of our starters are sitting out, But I thought the guys put up awesome effort. I don't really have a problem with taking this L, and I don't have a problem with, Houston are a good team. So they're always going to turn it on. The problem is not that we lost to Houston. It's the problem that we're seeing, again, we alluded to deja vu. Same thing, fourth quarter collapse. Goes down to all the same problems we've spoken about. Depth, injuries, coaching decisions, perhaps.
Yeah, because just for reference, Kevin Durant, and not that this is insignificant, but Kevin Durant had 37 minutes last night. Jabari Smith, 34. Şengün, 34. Amen Thompson had 42. Our leading minutes getter, Jaren Jackson Jr. at 32. Cedric played 30. Gigi at 27, along with Santi and Cam Spencer. It is what it is. At this point, it is clearly a Zach Kleiman initiative, prerogative that our players are not going to crack the 35, 36-minute mark, no matter how much we bitch and moan as fans, podcasters, covering the Grizzlies, media. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change. And what also is not changing is I throw this up on your screen. Take a look at this. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look, it's the dot is the highest win percentage total for the Memphis Grizzlies in several of our losses of the year. 12 of our now 26 losses. But at one point against the Lakers, we had an 88.6% chance. The Thunder, 87. 91 against the Cavs. 92 against the Jazz. There was a 97% against the Wizards. I was at that game. 75% against the Sixers. 89% against the Magic. 98% against the Thunder. And we've lost all of these games. So it's deja vu, and it's frustrating, and it's not something worth just rehashing over and over again. But we clearly have a problem with closing games and finding ways to win for one of two reasons. We don't have a true closer. Our true closer is typically in street clothes over there. We can't call 12. There's no Dalatone because he's wearing pajamas on the sideline, A. Or B, these losses are about draft position and draft position only.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because I wouldn't have a problem with offense. I wouldn't have a problem with the stats if they were leading to wins. I think that's the main thing. And then the other concerning thing is for guys who are relying on analytics, you just had it up on the screen. The evidence is there. The analytics is there. We are dropping games in fourth quarter. Like, what more do you need? Like,
right.
And yes, you can make the argument like about the injuries, but you know what? Like, goddamn, man, like that's sports. That is sports.
Man.
So
it's part of it, especially if you're a Grizzlies fan. Injuries are what they are. But we've had at least an 80+% chance to win in over half of our 26 losses. And we've blown every one of those leads because we're so stubbornly sticking to these minute restrictions to where Jaren is only playing 32 minutes as our lead. Like, there's not a world that a Kevin Durant with a history of an Achilles injury, who's 36 years old or whatever he is, should be outplaying Jaren, who is 10 years younger. Cedric Howard, who's likely 14 years younger than Kevin Durant. And we're still like, it's not even worth getting frustrated about anymore because it's not going to change. There's nothing like clearly we're in tank mode. We're in minute restriction mode, and Zach Kleiman will be damned if any single Grizzly plays more than 35 minutes.
Yeah, look, to be fair, I often sometimes think the minutes restrictions save Jaren from himself a little bit. To be fair, but
he only had 3 fouls last night.
Look, 100%. I agree. But I digress a bit. I love the effort from the guys last night. I've got to admit, we had the collapse, but like we're playing a really good team. Man, got to give the flowers out to Gigi Jackson, who over these past 2 weeks looks like, the potential, that dangerous word is, starting to flourish, and
it feels like a corner has been turned with Gigi because you're seeing him be more of a basketball player than like just a shooter, just a basketball individual, I guess.
Yesterday's game, like even his defense is looking much better. I was laughing yesterday because I was like by the time he had his third dunk, I was like, oh my God, Gigi Jackson has realized that he's long and can jump. And
people are getting him the ball in good positions because we talked about it in the group chat last night. Yeah. He is lethal on a backdoor cut. Lethal.
And he's got that little, I love his little, or it makes me laugh because it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. Like he's like, you know what, sometimes when I think we've all experienced this, we've all played ball for a long time. And then you play someone who's like maybe a bit new to the game, green out of grills, and they're just that bit unpredictable. Gigi Jackson has that little hesitation, head fake thing under the rim going on, and he gets his points every single time. So love him.
It's a variation of that Jalen like slow down hezzy, but it's just like a whole just a quick little hesitation that gets people out of their shoes, and then he dunks on them. And like Gigi's figured out he's athletic. I was damn near insufferable in the group chat last night about Gigi after that second I'm the only one that's been standing for Gigi. Yeah, and I'm like, I love that he makes me look smart. That I did not give up on him. I got the 4-5 jersey in the cart ready to order after the deadline just in case he's not traded. But like Gigi has been getting better and better and better. And I stand by what I've been saying all along. It needs to be Gigi at the 3, Jalen coming off the bench because Jalen just continues to struggle. 1 of 6 from 3 last night, a -9, 4 of 13 from the field, just continues to hit that sophomore slump. I think it's time. Like we just need to make a change. And why not start Gigi?
Yeah. Either that or you insert KCP. Yeah, that'd be my two goes. I like
KCP, but I like his role where he's at coming off the bench, 18 to 20 minutes. He had 11 points in 18 minutes last night. That's pretty efficient. He's just been so much better off the bench than he was as a starter. Like, especially this year, like we talked about yesterday, let the young kids play. Let Gigi go get his minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't even just touching back on Wells, I don't even feel the defensive presence this season, if that makes sense. Like I feel like
he's just non-existent,
and that is like
so hard.
His strongest part to his game has always been his defense, and like you can let a lot go if he's locking guys down and being that defensive menace. Honestly, I'm just not seeing it this season, and like I feel like. I don't. This is not a dump on Wells or anything because I think he's a really good player, but I also feel like he is a real luxury piece, and he's really gonna help a team, a contending team off the bench one day.
Yes,
it's just not us. I just don't feel like it's us, and that's not to say that I don't hope he turns it around and he's not a long stay Grizzly. But like, my vibes are saying it's just the timing's off, and at the moment you're not doing the things you're good at well right now. So I think it is time for a bench move, which we probably won't see.
No, probably not. It just is what it is. I've thought about this, Edward, that like did that wrist injury mess up his shot? Maybe, but it didn't mess up his defense and his ability to get to the rim. Like he just doesn't look athletic. He's not defending well. There's just so many things going wrong with his game right now that I can't really tie it just to the wrist injury. Maybe he, like I've said about Jaren, maybe he has the yips. I don't know. Either way, it is ugly basketball for Jalen. And speaking of ugly basketball, we know the Grizzlies futures are not looking good on FanDuel, our official odds provider for Bluff City Media. The Memphis Grizzlies continue to go in the wrong direction as we have the Grizzly driving the tank now. And instead of walking in Memphis, we are tanking in Memphis as our over-under is now down to 31.5 wins, minus 128 to go over, plus 104 to go under the 31.5 wins. We were once the Western Conference odds-on favorite to make the play-in at like minus 130 or 140 is where it peaked. We're now plus 700 to make it to the play-in. Not looking good for the Memphis Grizzlies, Wayno.
Yeah, I mean, the cold hard fact is we're the worst team in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's a hard pill to swallow. When healthy, like I feel like we could definitely battle for 5th, 6th seed in the West.
Yeah,
but it's so hard to gauge. Like I said, at the top of the show, it's like we're not going to see a healthy lineup all year, like all season, and it's like that is so hard to gauge how good you are at a team. Like, how do you? You can throw numbers. Like, I mean, I can say stuff like 5th, 6th in the West, but like we have no real gauge of what this team is capable because, like we said on yesterday's show, it's a spider's web of issues this season for the Grizzlies, unfortunately. I do want to touch on one thing. I watched a post-game bounce yesterday, and, I saw a lot of comments about like, they didn't care about the fans and all this sort of stuff. And I get the whole, people being upset and have, especially if you're going to the games and paying money, like it's not a good experience knowing that. Yeah, like it's not a good experience knowing that, you can set your clock to it. Here comes the 4th. We're dropping this double-digit lead. But I just hope fans realize, like, no franchise is going to come out and physically verbalize that they're tanking. That doesn't happen in the NBA. So you can want Zach Kleiman to come out and say that, but that's no GM. That's an easy NBA fine right there. That's an easy lose your draft picks. Like there's actually things in place for tanking. And if you were dumb enough to verbally say as a GM that we're tanking this season, no, your indicators are going to be like what I touched on yesterday. This trade deadline is going to be your biggest indicator of what we're doing. If we're not addressing the issues with this squad, like finding a decent backup, to Edie, to answering like a lot of these. I mean, we have so many injured guys, and we are, what's the Bruce Springsteen song, "Glory Days"? Like, we are hanging on to some real glory day players on our squad. I mean, I think Jared rather. Like Jared could probably ball. I wouldn't put it past him.
Probably, I think so. Yeah,
he probably got a hook shot. Jaren Jackson Jr., man, like I think he might even be like the only one from his draft class still with his original team.
He is,
which is not a like, it's not a jar at the organization or Jaren at all because he's been a total pro since he's been here. But I will say it's definitely a sign of the times as far as the NBA landscape and how things revolve. And it's more of an indication of, like we are really hanging on to some glory days here and it's time to move on. It's time to move on past the Jaren Bane experiment. Do you know what I mean? Like it hasn't, because it didn't work. It just didn't work. Great times, but sometimes things don't line up and that's the NBA game as a fan.
Yeah, it just didn't work. And obviously, like you said, we're not going to come out and say that we're tanking, but I can guarantee you that we're not going to be buying anybody at the trade deadline. We're going to be massive sellers. We're going to create flexibility. We're going to move off some bad contracts, whether that be, I wouldn't be shocked if Jaron was moved, BC, Santi, because Santi's apparently getting a lot of interest from some contenders, which I know you love that. You won't lose any sleep over that. But like, we're going to sell at the deadline. We're going to sell leading up to the draft. I think that, like, from a selfish standpoint, I hope that we build around Jaron, Ced, and Edey. Very likely we're going to be building around Cedric and Edey going forward as we start to kind of hit a full reset, because Jaron is going to get you so much more than Ja is on the open trade market, whether that's in season or before the draft. Either way, this team is not trending in a positive direction. And I think we can comfortably say that the Grizz Next Gen experiment was an epic failure.
I wouldn't even say that. Like, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, if you're looking at it, in the lens of NBA championships, then sure, we're zero. We're dead zero. But sorry,
I'm talking about like from a consistent, because if you look at it came out on Twitter yesterday. Like, if you're looking at comparing, and this came out like in the spring, and I stood pretty hard on the fact that the grit and grind era Grizzlies would wipe the floor with the Grizz Next Gen.
Mm-hmm.
Zebo in his first 7 seasons with the Memphis Grizzlies compared to Ja Morant, Zebo had a .600 winning percentage. Ja's 56 or 566. Zebo's played in 478 games. Ja played in 327. The playoff record was 29-33 for Zebo. Ja's is 7-15. Zebo won 3 playoff series. Ja won 1. Western Conference Finals appearance for the Grit and Grind Grizzlies and Zach Randolph. Second round is as far as Ja Morant gets. So if you're just looking at wins and losses, availability, and playoff runs, I'm not even talking about championships. That's obviously like up here. We've never had one. Yeah. But I'm just talking about consistent winning and producing a quality product.
Yeah. I mean, I'd still also argue that, I don't like comparing the eras. Do you know what I mean? I have so much love
I get it.
for both. And we're going to look back at when Ja's finally, moved on. I sound like he passed away then, didn't I? When Ja is no longer here, that sounds worse. When the Ja situation happens,
resolves itself.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
We'll look back and we'll remember what a dynamic player he was, what he did for the city, the lens he brought into Memphis, and all that stuff. And of course, there'll be still the question marks. It'll be the big what if. He's that player for us. He's the what if he could have just stayed healthy? What if he could just stay focused? Like, he just, maybe mentally he wasn't quite there. Yeah, haven't grown up yet, but
it's going to be another what if story. Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy, Greg Oden, Ja Morant. What if is what Ja Morant's legacy is going to be in Memphis.
And I think a lot of Memphis fans will feel like this as well. Like, maybe Ja needed a grown-up situation to walk into, and maybe our upper management wasn't quite grown up themselves yet either.
Ja clearly had never been told no, never been hard coached. And I had this conversation in the group chat this morning, how different would it have gone if Ja had a Lionel Hollins type? Not necessarily Lionel Hollins, but a Lionel Hollins type, where it was more hard-nosed, more aggressive coaching style, more disciplinarian that Ja's never had. Maybe this would look different. I don't think it would be ending this way. I think Ja needed somebody to help kind of polish off some of those rough edges, but Ja's camp and Ja's team hadn't allowed that to happen. Ja hasn't allowed that to happen, and it's because of that, it's just not going well. I'm just curious, what it would look like with a different coaching structure, different front office structure, if Ja Morant's story would be different.
Potentially, but also to kind of counter that as well, he did a lot of this to himself. So there's that. You know
what I'm saying?
He's the ultimate what if player, right? The ultimate.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I just said. He's in the vein of Penny and Brandon Roy and Greg Oden for me because of that. Cohen asked a good question here. Yes, I think Jock is eligible to move at the deadline for the right deal, just because I think everybody with an expiring deal with weird money is going to be eligible. For me, and I'm going to ask you yours next, my untouchables for the Memphis Grizzlies, untouchable, do not trade. Cedric Coward, Zach Edey are 1 and 1A. It doesn't matter, whatever order. They're untouchable. I put Gigi up there because he's 6'9", he's 22 years old. There's a massive amount of upside. He's making $2.1 million for the next 3 years. Hell of a contract. Cam Spencer's getting there, but I still would listen for the right one. Outside of that, I think everybody is eligible to be traded.
I love GG. I love what I've seen from GG. I'd have to say Edie, Coward, and Cam Spencer. That'd be like the guys I really dig my heels in about.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, if guns on my head, well, hope that never happens. But I would say Coward, and the rest is available for the right price. I mean, as I said yesterday, I listen to smarter people about this year's draft than myself. I don't follow a lot of college ball.
Mm-hmm.
I follow it like once a year when the NBA draft's coming up. So I am that guy. But I mean, if this draft class is as good as everyone said it is, why not see what you don't have to do it publicly, but why not Edie on the table? Why not Cam on the table?
Yeah.
I'd be sticking with Coward, but we've just gone through how many seasons of injuries? How many games has Edie played?
Listen,
I'm just saying,
so I hear you. But with Zach Edey, I feel like there is extenuating circumstances. Last year, it was Taylor Jenkins who was upset and protesting the front office. This year, I fully think he could be playing right now. He's just a healthy scratch. I truly think that this is like him not – I truly think that Edey is out.
We've made a lot of excuses for early Ja Morant as well with the injuries.
Fair.
I just don't want us to see go to that same rabbit hole with Zach Edey.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, look, this is the whole gauge on it for me is like how much weight do you put in this year's draft class?
Mm-hmm.
And does that weigh, does that make way for an Edey move? I mean, his value would be high. He's shown in like a small amount of games what he could do this year. I'm not saying this is what I would do. I'm just saying gun to my head, I had to pick maybe one person to help him move forward.
Yeah,
the measurements, the evidence and the durability so far of Coward. I mean, that's the guy moving forward. It's like,
again, NBA teams don't build around one guy necessarily much anymore, but gun to head had to pick. I mean, I'd pick Cedric Coward too, but I'm going to pick I'm starting with a dynamic duo.
If that second guy is in this year's draft, and that's your guy, then go for it. Like at this stage, I mean, what do we got to lose? We're coming off we're pushing aside the last era of Grizzlies basketball at this moment. We've recognized I think that maybe the biggest question mark and the biggest daunting question mark for Grizzlies fans is that I think Zach Kleiman's got next year on his contract before it's up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think we got another season of our coach. I think he's the all-in for Zach Kleiman, as much as people don't want to hear it. And if that's the case, I want to see the best possible unit for his system, because I don't want to go through another losing season like this. I don't want to go through another season of guys sitting on the bench when they can be playing. I don't want to see extended injury updates, update after update. So if we're getting another season of Zach Kleiman, and that is another season of did I nearly say semen? That's weird.
Wow.
If we're getting another season of ZK, I think we're getting another season of Thomas Isolo. So, which
unfortunately, maybe.
I think I know where everyone stands with that.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. But I think that is, if Kleiman is going out, he's going out swinging. And if he's going out swinging, he's going with his own guys. And
or he's going out swinging with one more swing to try and find a head coach that'll work.
Or maybe.
So Edey and Cedric for King Meeks. We've got an SPJ vote from Mim Ant, which is not a terrible one either, just because he has been a good role player. He's not very expensive. I don't hate that. Shout out Noiple. We're going to get to this here in a little bit, but drone-like precision development for Cedric Coward. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. We are all tired of street closed field benches. That's for sure. And that's what it looks like. But like the reason I'm picking, I said Cam Spencer and Cedric Coward is because, they were announced yesterday as they are going to be participants in the Rising Stars game in All-Star Weekend. We've got 3, actually. We've got 2 rookie. We've got 2 sophomores, Cam Spencer and Jalen Wells. We've got a rookie in Cedric Coward. I think we would have had a 4th if Zach Edey hadn't been shut down for the season. I think we'd have had 4 young players here. So I think that's why I think that Cedric, Cam, and Zach Edey are our core going forward because of the great deals we have them on, because of the immense talent that we see in Cedric and Zach Edey. And again, I truly think, and this is not an excuse, this is me using logic and following along what I'm seeing. I think Zach Edey's being shut down for draft position and for a full-on tank, for sure.
I agree with everyone's take. And, I don't think anyone said anything that I totally disagree with. I'm just saying that Ced's my guy. Those other guys you mentioned, they're the guys that dig my heels in. Like, I'm not moving unless you can throw something.
Buddy, it's going to have to be a big old offer.
Well, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And again, like if everyone's so high on this year's draft and you think there's a player that can bring more to the table than one of those other mentioned players, then you make that move. That's a no-brainer.
I mean, shit, if somebody calls us and offers us 5 first-round draft picks, 3 of them in this year for Jaren Jackson Jr., you do that because you instantly can reset. You can get some of these guys that in a very, very deep roster. Go get a guy like Caleb Wilson. Go get the forward from Illinois or from Virginia Tech who's getting Luka comparisons. Like, there are guys in this draft that can come in with a similar skill set, and you can reset and be back in the playoffs in 1 to 3 years. I mean, it's completely doable with a full blow-up, which I don't know that we're going to do yet, but it's doable in this year's draft because it is so deep.
Yeah. Yeah. Again. Yeah. Hey, I'm sure we're about to go to another segment, but just before we do, I made it, Rusty.
You made it?
I made it. I made the bucket list ticket.
Yeah.
I made the Kenny clip yesterday.
You did with the tinfoil hat and all. Absolutely. I ever said in the comments yesterday, like, you're having a full-on real hoops conversation while wearing tinfoil hats. It's absolutely hilarious.
All it took was the tinfoil hat.
That's it, man. That's it, man. Well, hey, listen, if you want to go over on FanDuel, fortune favors the bold here over on FanDuel. If you want to go win some money tonight, I got a Bucks best bet for you that's a little bit out there, but the Detroit Pistons come in 8-2 in their last 10 games, but they're traveling to Denver, where it's always hard to play. You can get the Nuggets plus 205 on the money line. I'm taking the Nuggets on the money line tonight over the Pistons. It's a weird, Tuesday night travel to Denver. I'm taking the Nuggets. I'm taking the Pelicans to cover 14.5 against a banged-up Oklahoma City team. New Orleans has been playing better. Zion has been playing better. Derek Queen's been looking a whole lot better. I'm not taking him to win. I'm taking him to cover because 2 touchdowns, 14.5 is a big old spread. Same thing with the Bucks. I don't trust the 76ers. Give me the Bucks plus 10.5. This parlay on FanDuel gets you plus 1,002 odds, Wayno. Am I being silly here, or is there an opportunity for this to hit?
I mean, hell, maybe.
Yeah.
That Pelicans, who are they playing again?
The Thunder.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They are playing well recently.
They're playing well recently. They're playing the Thunder, who are banged up a little bit. I put $5 on this, plus 1,002. We're going to see what happens.
I mean,
who knows?
I just feel like Pels have to play a perfect game.
And they've been playing better. They have been playing better.
That's a lot to ask for the dysfunction over there, but
sure. Why not? Why not me? Why not me?
Why not?
Yeah, why not me? Well, hey, listen, we're going to take a real quick commercial break. On the other side of this commercial break, we're going to talk some conspiracy theory that came out on the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast with some weird allegations around Robert Perry and the Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to touch on that, along with the upcoming Winter Olympics that are coming up in just a couple of weeks. Super excited. I love the Olympics. Super excited about that. Y'all stick around on the other side of this commercial break for more 2 Bucks Sports Show action with my guy Wayno from Down Under. We'll see you on the other side.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. Memphis, it's going down. This Friday, January 30th, the Grizzlies go to war with New Orleans, and the city's watching together at Grind City Brewing. Big screens, cold beer, loud fans, real Memphis energy. Pull up for the Bluff City Media Watch Party at Grind City Brewing, where the beer is cold and the vibes are undefeated. Don't watch alone, watch it with the city.
Do y'all think Penny focuses too much on reclamation projects out of the portal instead of actual talent?
He certainly did this season, because in the past, Memphis has tried maybe one or two reclamation projects a year. Like Dane Danger, for example, was obviously a reclamation project, but that was really the only reclamation project that he was really going for there.
You can go down this roster and name a lot of dudes who Penny recruited thinking that he can help them get better and kind of revive their collegiate career.
The key to making reclamation projects work is surrounding that player with guys who do not have to be reclamated.
Yes.
TJ Haggerty did not have to be reclamated. Tyrese Hunter did not have to be reclamated. Colby Rogers didn't have to be reclamated. Nick Jourdain didn't have to be reclamated. He was who he was already. Yep. If you surround reclamation projects with guys who don't have to be reclamated, it gives you a much better, chance of success with that reclamation project.
Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beatles.
Welcome back to the 2 Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets. We're live here 11 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. I got cold in the commercial breaks, so I had to go put a vest on because it's cold in this house. It's cold here in Memphis. So we appreciate y'all sheltering in place with us here, hanging out. Shout out our guy, Mem Ant here. If you're in the chat and you haven't hit like, you're going to be on the next Grizzlies PR notification. So make sure you give us a thumbs up. Helps us more than you know in the algorithm. Drop a comment here after the show. Tell us what you agree with, what you like, what you didn't like. Who is your untouchables? Y'all let us know in the comments, whether you're here live or after the fact. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Yes, dog, we are going to get to Robert Pera here in just a minute. As a matter of fact, we're getting to Robert Pera right now. And our Conspiracy Corner debuted this week with my guy, Wayno. Pablo Torres woke me up this morning with a new bombshell on Twitter linking Robert Pera's company, Ubiquity, to the Russian military effort in the war on Ukraine, which is just a wild statement that I never thought. I did not have that on my bingo card for this year. Sure didn't. But that's what I woke up to this morning, Wayno. And I've listened to the episode. It's something. It is absolutely something. Have you listened to? Have you looked into it much at all?
Dude, I sometimes afraid to go to bed. Maybe that's why I just stay up all the time. Like I can tell you some major things. Like I remember getting back from the US one year. This is right, Kobe, waking up and being told that Kobe Bryant had died, and that was like, what? I like a couple of weeks ago, I woke up and you guys were like, my phone was gone mental because we just put out that we're trading Ja Morant. Like, what the heck? And then this morning, I get up to like this crazy. I mean, I don't want to say allegations at this point, like, because Pablo's pretty on point. I have to admit, like,
receipts of an undercover journalist purchasing Wi-Fi equipment as a Russian entity, which is Russia. For those of the uninformed, uninitiated, Russia is currently under sanctions from the U.S. due to their military actions in Ukraine, which means you cannot conduct business with them. You cannot sell them products. You cannot sell them military products like this without pretty stiff fines and problems. Problem is, Robert Parris done this before. He got reprimanded and warned by the U.S. government when his Ubiquiti Wi-Fi satellite dishes, Wi-Fi routers showed up in Iran. And so, per Pablo Torres, Robert Parris said, I cannot do this again or I'll be in real trouble. Here we are. There's videos and evidence of his Wi-Fi equipment being used on the front lines by Russian soldiers flying drones, taking out attacks on Ukrainian citizens. Wayno, it is just an ugly, ugly look for Robert Parris.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he already has, a bad taste in the mouth for most people in Memphis because he's just so, for what we know anyway, like, he's really kind of hands off with the team, like, really.
Which is funny because it was a good reminder in the episode that he didn't start that way. Like, he started his ownership by challenging Tony Allen to a one-on-one charity basketball game and thought he could actually beat Tony Allen.
My whole thing with it, I remember him. He wanted to play MJ one-on-one, which never eventuated. I was like, right, he's crazy. He's like mental.
Michael Jordan said, why would I play you one-on-one? It was supposed to be $1 million charity for St. Jude. And he was like, why would I play one-on-one? Like, that doesn't make sense. I don't need to. So it's just it's another rung in what is a weird run for the Grizzlies owner. Because you're right. Like, he's a very absentee owner. We don't hear anything from him. Doesn't feel like he has much to do with the team. But he's one of the wealthiest sports owners in the world. And yet we're sitting here trying to play Tetris to get under the luxury cap and keep running out teams that are just not competitive.
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't watched the episode, so I'll just say that straight off the bat. So, I've just heard like lots of things, and obviously you guys talk in the chat. Like, I've heard that he has a third party that basically sells his stuff for him. So, I'm not trying to make excuses for anything because I literally just found out this morning when I woke up. I do want to kind of flip the script a little bit, if you don't mind, because I'm sure everyone's going to go watch the episode and go in depth on it. So I just want to bring this from maybe a little bit of a different angle. But Pablo, what's his motives with all this? Like, is he an NBA fan? Is he a hoop head? Like, and I'm not trying to take away
in the kind of the realm of Howard Stern used to be.
Right, because I'm like, at first I thought like he was like, I don't know, some like hoops detective or something. You know what I mean? Like, this, I mean, we saw what happened with the Kawhi Leonard stuff, but I was just like, I don't know what the motive is with him. And like, look, he's obviously like exposing like a lot of big names, but again, like, I don't want to make like any sort of excuses for what's unfolded, but it's like, what do you do when there is no big story either? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how many of these big I don't know, that's just there's playing devil's advocate in this whole thing because and then there's the third part to this, which is we still haven't seen any repercussions from the Clippers.
No, and you won't.
And they're winning.
He makes a point of that. He was like, when the owners are involved, like the previous Clippers owner had to sell the Clippers because of his racist marks, which rightfully so. That needed to happen. But like he goes after players, like he goes after Ja Morant, suspends Ja Morant. But like technically Adam Silver works for these owners. So no, he's not going to punish Ballmer, who is the owner of the Clippers, his boss. No, he's not going to publicly punish Robert Pera, who is one of his bosses, one of the wealthiest owners in the NBA. He's not going to do that. We could also go down on a whole rabbit trail around how much the NBA is tied in with China and their humanitarian crimes, and Adam Silver has egg on his face. So no, he's not like, I think this is going to end up being kind of a nothing burger, but like to your point about Pablo Torre, if Pablo Torre knows about this, then there are going to be some international, like serious players that know about this.
Yeah.
Why are you risking your life for some clicks and views on a YouTube story? Because like if Pablo Torre found this out, there are probably some global power players who knew about this already.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, that was sort of my biggest question. Was like, I don't know, like, what's the drive? What's the and again, like, I don't want to like, I'm not saying all this to like excuse, Pera because he's the owner of the Grizz. I mean, I think we should all be a little bit concerned because, look, if worst case scenario, the guy got bounced from the league and had to sell the team, you don't know what the next owner is going to do coming in.
Yeah,
I mean, we all freak out. A lot of fans out there freaking out if we trade
right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we don't know.
Fans freak out with Ja trading that we're going to lose the team. You got more of a chance if our current owner, who you should be a little bit thankful that he is hands off. I mean, I would hate to see, that would be my worst nightmare, seeing that happen. But
right, like I'm not sitting here saying that like that's where this is heading. Like we're going to I'm not leading the charge that we're moving or whatever. Like the Grizzlies aren't going to Nashville. I can guarantee you that. But like I don't know what this looks like. But again, he is Adam Silver's boss technically. So like I don't know what authority the NBA has here. Now the U.S. government has some massive authority they can throw into this thing, but I don't know what Adam Silver in the league has.
I mean, look, I mean, I can't even tell you what I think like the punishment should be. Like, stop the trading and he cops a big fine, because I would love to say that, but like we still haven't seen anything from the Clippers situation. So I just don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, it's sad. It's actually quite sad. And I actually think it's a real shame because especially after this season and all the stuff we've had with, Stephen A. Smith mouthing off about Memphis and, our current situation with our superstar, like, it's just another like tainted image we don't really need. Like, I just want some positive stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do like in the episode though, like how he kind of tied it around Ja Morant and Robert Pera, because like he starts the episode rehashing all of Ja's trouble, and I was just like, here we go again. Like, why are we really reliving this? But in the end, the death blow is, is Adam Silver going to step up and do something about this, or is he more worried about players on Instagram than his owner bosses? And it was like, that's well done.
That's the thing, man. Give me the Adam Silver expose. I want that.
Buddy.
I want that.
That's going to be a laundry list. Like from like that's in Arkham Asylum right now. Because A, Adam Silver looks like a Batman bad guy. B, like you ain't like his rap sheet and dirt on Adam Silver would be 27 episodes for Pablo Torre. Like
all I'm saying is the Doctor from Futurama and Adam Silver have never been seen in the same place.
Never been seen in the same room. That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, hey, before we get out of here, as we start to wrap this show up, Wayno, one of my favorite things of all time is coming up. The Winter Olympics are less than 2 weeks away. They start next week, February the 6th. The Winter Olympics are being held in Italy. And are you a fan of the Olympics? Olympics your thing?
Yeah, love it.
What's your do you prefer summer or Winter Olympics?
I do prefer summer.
You're a summer guy. I'm much more a Winter Olympics guy. I love all of it.
Look, man, I'll watch both, and I'll like mindlessly watch, curling, for instance. Like I'll mindlessly watch that and be happy watching it. And
Like I love like the Olympic events that I'm always tuned into. I love watching the weightlifting in the summer. I love all the sprinting and track in the summer. I don't in the winter. I love like the speed skaters are probably my favorite. Those dudes and guys and gals just fly around that rink. Love the bobsled, love the hockey.
Bobsled, yes.
Obviously watch basketball in the summer, but like you said, if the Winter Olympic zone, I catch myself watching people skiing in the backcountry and shooting at targets. Like it doesn't matter. I will watch the Olympics. You put the stars and bars on it for me, and I'm going to watch and root for America pretty hard.
You know what never gets old for me? USA, Canada hockey. That never gets old.
I know, especially the ladies. Like the ladies, like the U.S. women are badass hockey players. They won the 2025 world title. They anticipate that we'll do it again, facing Canada and win the gold again. But like the women hockey, USA women hockey, badass, man.
Yeah, that never. I have no horse in that race, but man, I just love watching everyone freak out. This is so good.
This is also for the first time since 2014 that current NHL players are allowed to compete in the Olympic Games. So the hockey is going to be better this year. That's going to be awesome. Lindsey Vonn for the U.S. is making her return after she retired in 2019. She qualified and could be the oldest Olympic alpine skier to reach the podium. She's over 41 years old. Just a lot of cool little storylines. Chloe Kim for the U.S. is going for her three-peat, the first ever three-peat gold in the half pipe event for snowboarders. Just a lot of cool events. You can place wagers on it over on FanDuel, where you get the U.S. has plus odds to win the most gold medals. So looking at Norway at minus 170, Germany plus 470, U.S. plus 500. This is to win the most gold medals. Wayno, I didn't see
where's
Australia on there. Do y'all have much of an Olympic contingency?
There's not much snow here. Yeah? Like I don't know what to tell you. Like we're beach. There's a bit of snow around Thredbo, but yeah, it's not much.
I got a great movie you need to watch. It's called Cool Runnings, and it's about the Jamaican bobsled team going to the Olympics. Australia has a chance.
With, running with really cool shoes. Is that what
John Candy. That's hilarious. But yeah, man, Olympics start next week. I can't wait, man. I love watching the winter's my favorite. I can't wait. It's Italy, the home country. It's plus 2,700 to win the most gold in the Italian backcountry. It's going to be freaking awesome, dude. I cannot wait. I love the Olympics. Summer or winter, it doesn't matter. I will absolutely be locked in.
Yeah, I really like the ski jumps as well.
Yeah,
on those big ramps. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, before we bounce, you got time for a curveball?
Let's do it.
All right, real quick. So I've been trying to get Kenny maybe to answer this because, as you guys know, like I'm a pretty big NBA head, but college ball not really like my thing, and I've been trying to watch a little bit more just to get a better gauge on it, whatnot, and a lot's been said about Penny recently and stuff like that. And my gauge is like maybe Penny has lost a bit of his star power with the new generation about like recruiting and stuff like that. And obviously there's been big talk about the portal and that may be affecting it as well. Now, recently we've had like the NCAA allowing semi-professional players back into the mix. Which,
Alabama just got one. Yep.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like so I'm trying to wrap my head around all this new information,
Sure.
My thought is this, or my question rather is this. Will we see in the NBA a trickle-down effect from that decision? Like, do you think that the NBA will need to adjust maybe its deadline for when guys declare for the draft? Do you think that affects people declaring for the draft? And also, do you think that, like, because I would say the negative of this as well, I'm also like, if you're going back, like say you've been through college, you bounced early, you went and played in Australia for, X amount of years, then you're back in. Like, if you don't make it that back in, you're done. Right? Like, you got a lot of onus if you can't perform when you go back into the college system as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that onus is on the players. I don't think it's going to impact them because, like, they can declare it doesn't work out and then just go back to college. So, like, if anything, it's going to make people more likely to declare early or to, not go back to college because, hey, like, The NCAA is a false front organization. One of the most corrupt they get in the world. They get beat to sleep in courts all the time. Obviously, they have no authority if these players are coming back to college. And so we're at a tipping point where this thing could be really weird, Wayno. To your point, like a kid could declare for the draft, get drafted by the Grizzlies, and be like, I don't really want to play for the Grizzlies. I'm going to go back to whatever college I was at, take another year, and try again next year. Like that's on the table if this doesn't get corrected. I don't know if that's the right word, but addressed maybe.
Because I'm like, does this eventually, if you allow that, does this eventually allow players to be redrafted somewhere down the line?
It does. It does.
Do you know what I mean?
Now,
and that's crazy. That's crazy.
So I'm curious. I don't know what the NBA bylaws are, but in the NFL, if a kid is drafted, say you're drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, and they had this happen where the contract, they were having this happened last year. An offensive lineman, I believe from Ohio State, was drafted by the Bengals. They were working out a contract. They couldn't get it figured out. So he was going to go back to college and play another year. But in the NFL, if he had played another year at Ohio State and re-entered the draft next year, he wouldn't have been able to be drafted because his rights were owned by the Cincinnati Bengals still. I don't know what that looks like if you're on an NBA roster. Like if Ja wanted to go back and play at Memphis for a penny and then go somewhere else, I don't know. I think Memphis would he'd still be on contract with Memphis.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works in the NBA, but that's something like this could be setting some precedents that we've never seen before in the professional / amateur athlete conversation.
Like I think this draft, it won't play much effect, but I think if they keep allowing it, I think the following year and the year after that, like there'll be some serious question marks,
repercussions.
Repercussions from it as well.
For sure. No doubt. It's a good question, good conversation as this thing continues to evolve. I'm curious what it's going to look like. I think it's going to change a lot in the landscape, again, of the professional versus amateur athlete conversation. But Wayno, I appreciate you being here with me today, man, hanging out once again in Uncle Buck's absence as he is out Power Ranger in and on the business end of a chainsaw somewhere in Tippah County, I'm sure, cutting down twigs. He can't reach the high ones. He's got to cut down the low ones.
Yeah, he's Power Ranging on power lines.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you hanging out here. Appreciate everybody in the comments. On your way out the door, make sure you give us a thumbs up on the show. Leave us a comment. Let us know who your untouchable Memphis Grizzlies are. And be back here live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. In the meantime, for Wayno, I am Rusty Witten. Y'all go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the 2 Buck Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.